Good morning to all of you. Today, my walking theme is settlements. So I will be taking you to the area of Al-Mrassas, which is on the east side of Abu Dis, where Maale Adumim settlement was built in 1976. Actually, Abu Dis countryside and the lands of Abu Dis used to reach the Dead Sea in the east on the borders of Jordan, which is around 70 square kilometers. Most of that land were taken in 1967 after the Israeli occupation. Israel declared all that area as a military closed zone. So I'm starting my walk today from Arras in Abu Dis, and I'm going up to the west where the wall is in Kubsa, and from there I'm going down with the street to the settlement of Maale Adumim. I'm walking through the town of Azariya. Azariya is a very historical town. Inside the town you can see the old historical places, religious places. The main road is going down from Azariya to the crossroad to Maale Adumim. When you arrive to Maale Adumim, the first thing you notice this small, tiny street, which is around 400 meters, which is like a corridor which links the whole area of the south of the West Bank with the north and the east of the West Bank. Even any Palestinian want to travel to Jerusalem with his car, as the people from Jerusalem living in the Jerusalem neighborhoods behind the wall, have to use this small corridor, which always lead to a huge traffic jam. And by the end of that road, always the Israeli police and the Israeli army are based in a checkpoint to make the Palestinian movement slow in order to allow a smooth entrance for the Jewish settlers to enter and to leave the settlement freely. Maale Adumim settlement is one of the biggest settlements in the West Bank. It was built in 1976, and during that period I remember that the owners of the lands, Abu Dis people and Azariya people, refused the Israeli order to take over their lands, and there was protests. And I remember that my cousin, whom used to be 11 years old, Ali Afani, were killed by the Israeli army in one of the protests against the establishment of the settlement on our lands. He was shot by the Israeli army in Kubsa after a protest went out of Abu Dis primary school. So being on the area of the roundabout of Maale Adumim, on that spot, from there you can see the road, which is the settlers' only road, which links Maale Adumim settlement with Kedar settlement in the south, which is also was built on the lands of Abu Dis in 1984. And also you can see an Israeli military camp, which was for protection. It was built before the settlement, and it's still there. Army are watching the area of the settlement and the main street. Also, you can see a checkpoint in front of the settlement. Maale Adumim now have its own municipality, also have all facilities and services. They have their hospitals, they have their universities, schools. Also there's a sports field which was built on the lands of my uncles. I remember that my uncles used to tell me about this place. They used that place for agriculture, and they used to stay there to protect their fields before 1967. Unfortunately, after the war and after the establishment of that settlement, we lost not just the lands of the settlements, but around 70 square kilometers of our lands became behind the settlement, and we are not allowed to reach them. Of course, talking about the settlements, which is the main, aspect of the conflict and taking over the land, is wide, and I will need more videos and I will need more time to talk about it. But I hope that I gave you a view about the pain that we are living with the existence of this settlement on our lands, and how it turned the whole area into a small jail by surrounding the east of the area of East Jerusalem with settlers and places where Palestinians are not allowed to reach or to drive or to use. Thank you very much. I think I finished my walking target for today. Hope to see you again in next videos, inshallah.